updates. There we go. This is a good account that has all the stuff summarized right now. Let me follow it on my other account. But anyways, even though the writer strike is over, the actor strike is still going on. So no physical actors can currently be on a set and film these movies, right? So what are they doing? They're just filming with a little let me see here if I can find the Photosonic movie set photos. They're just filming right now with the props. You guys have seen these set photos. We've talked about them before. They're literally just filming the movie with the actual props, getting the environments down so that they can CG them in later. And honestly, by the third movie in the Sonic franchise, you know they're going to do like 20% human stuff, 80% CGI animated things. And that's kind of what we want to see either way. So they're right now filming with Invisible Sonic, Invisible Knuckles, Invisible Tails, Invisible Shadow somewhere out there, right? And a couple of set photos have emerged of the set. Let me see if I can pull them up here. So right now, they are currently filming in Canary Wharf. It's somewhere in the UK. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But what we got in Canary Wharf, which is in the UK, is some gun armored trucks. We know the Gun Corporation, Sonic 2. They're kind of in charge of all this hoofla going on with these interdimensional beings, or I should say aliens. But the interesting thing is they're turning the streets of UK into Japan. Hoi. I don't know if that was a Japanese sound or not, but here we have some Japanese writing on this police car, and it's like, all right, Sonic is pretty well known in Japan. He's got a lot of Asian influence in his games. There's a couple of Asian inspired levels in there. So turning the streets of UK into Japan, that means we're going to be seeing Sonic travel to Japan at one point, or a level in the game, which I'll get to in a sec. But getting to that for a minute, I'm actually kind of surprised we're still staying on Earth. I really thought by this third Sonic movie, we'll be traveling to different planets. I thought we would go to Mobius, Sonic's home world. We would see other places, not just like the Mushroom Planet where Robotnik got stuck in after the first movie. I really thought we were just going to like portal us into different areas and we would start exploring the Sonic universe out there. To see that we're still maybe going to stay on Earth and just go different countries. All right, that's fine. Japan is different. And Japan is a colorful, beautiful place, at least from the photos I've seen. I think that would be awesome for Sonic to go in. But I was seeing reports here from Scooper Daniel RPK, where he mentioned these Japan streets are actually being turned into Westopolis. Now, that name might not sound familiar to you guys, but let me pull it up here. Westopolis is actually the name of the very first level in the solo Sonic the Hedgehog game. And it's like, oh, connections. We're seeing them here, baby. Let me see if I can pull up actual images of Westopolis. But that is what we're actually going to be seeing the city turn into. So it's not going to be called Japan, some random city in Japan, Tokyo, or anything like that. It's going to be Westopolis, this first level that you play in Shadow the Hedgehog. And that makes sense. Shadow was teased at the end of Sonic 2. We're going to find out about his backstory and everything. Now, the interesting thing about Westopolis in the game is it's a ruined city. It's got a lot of like chaos going on. There's these aliens coming in. I think it's like the Black Armed Forces or something like that's what they're called. And they're taking over in the game. It's like where you start choosing, are you going to help the city? Are you going to work against the city? If you play the Shadow the Hedgehog game, that's kind of like what you can do in there. So that's cool that they're throwing that in there. And I guess maybe Sonic is following Shadow to this place, and it's like, well, this guy, he's trouble. I got to stop him. I really don't know what the plot is, because although we can maybe imply some things using the games, could just be an Easter egg. They're like, oh, first level of the Shadow video game, let's just throw it in there, and then they'll do something different. But that's kind of cool to know. So that's what we have. I'm just surprised we haven't seen any of like the dummies out there, because I would really like to see, the Shadow the Hedgehog prop out there in the open, get an idea of maybe what that'll end up looking like. Let me see if we got some other photos. Let's see some others, but it's just scenery. It's like we're not going to be able to see anything. There's no props or even any other bigger things. It's just kind of like a scope of the area. And with CGI, they can make it look completely different. Here they are compiling all the police cars we've gotten in the past, from Green Hills to the San Francisco cars to now the Japanese police officer cars. So that's kind of cool. That's just an update to have right now. I not until the actor strike is over are we going to find out. Oh, here's someone that actually, but not until, actor strike is over, are they going to announce the voice of Shadow? I think that's what a lot of people are currently waiting on, is who's going to voice Shadow. I think the most common answers I always hear over and over are like Keanu Reeves. Honestly, just Keanu Reeves. I've heard some people say Nicolas Cage. They want kind of like a menacing voice in there. I have no idea who it's going to be. I'm sure as soon as they announce it, we're all going to be like, oh, I didn't expect him, but that makes sense. That's actually going to be a great voice. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, they're filming it, man. I also wonder if because of the actor's strike, and they're like, look, we got to finish this movie. We can't just be waiting around. The actor strike could take another couple of months. What if they just write out all the human characters and then force themselves to go strictly CGI? And you would think that would make a lot of people jump up and down and go, finally, only CGI characters in my movie. That's what we wanted. But I've grown to like Donut Lord James Marsden. I kind of want to see him part of the adventure. And in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I was like, damn, they don't really have Donut Lord in this much. He's just kind of off to the side. This would be like the first movie where I start off complaining less human characters, and now we get to the third film, and I'm like, maybe a little more human characters. Come on. But that's just me right there. That's still fun to know, but that's the Sonic update we have currently going on right now. We'll have to wait and see if any other photos leak and we get a hints of Shadow or all the other props out there. Love your content. Also, do you think we're getting Fat Suit Jim in Sonic 3 and we need director's cut of Suicide Squad? Maybe. I would like to see Jim Carrey in there again, but it might be too stuffed. I feel like they already have so many things going on with Shadow. My theory is if they bring back Jim Carrey for Sonic movie 3, they're going to bring him back as Gerald Robotnik, his great grandfather or his like dad, whatever it was in the lore. I think that's what it'll be. He could be in the fat suit because that guy's also fat. And then Jim Carrey could play a slightly different character. He could still be manic and crazy, but maybe a little bit more serious and deadly and not as jokey as Dr. Robotnik. That's my theory, but I don't know that for a fact. I want Robert Pattinson as Shadow. Also, creator? Robert Pattinson as Shadow might be interesting. I don't know if he really has like the voice I would want for Shadow. He's got a great Batman voice. He's got that going on, but a Shadow, I'm not sure. And I also don't think it's a role he'd take up, but you never know. Creator, plan to try and see it this weekend and hopefully get some reviews out for you guys. In the first Sonic movie, Maddie and Tom's dad was protecting in Green Hills for 50 years. Imagine Tom finding out that his dad was a secret government agent who shot Marie, and if they make him important to the story. I think that's a huge possibility, my friend, because again, if you don't know the lore of Shadow and stuff, because at the end of Sonic 2, we see Shadow, and he was cryogenically frozen there for 50 years, and that kind of goes in with the story of the games. You know, he was built a long time ago and whatnot, and there is a line in that first Sonic movie that for 50 years this Donut Lord's family has been there. So that would be awesome if they try and tie all these things together and whatnot. I'd be down for that. That would be cool.